بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أصحاب السعادة، السادة ضيوفنا الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نرحب بكم في الهيئة السعودية للمواصفات والمقاييس والجودة في هذه الورشة التي تأتي استكمالا لجهود الهيئة والجهات المعنية في البرنامج السعودي لكفاءة الطاقة لتأكيد الشراكة والتعاون الفعال مع المعنيين من الشركات المصنعة للسيارات في إطار جهود المملكة لرفع مستوى كفاءة الطاقة استهلاك الوقود. إن مثل هذه اللقاءات تتيح للهيئة التعرف على مرئيات الشركات الصانعة في مجال صناعة السيارات ومعرفة أي عوائق قد تواجهها والعمل على الحل السريع لها. وتشكر الهيئة جميع الشركات التي حرصت على الحضور وتأمل أن تحقق ما تصبو إليه جميعا. نبدأ هذه الورشة بكلمة افتتاحية يلقيها سعادة الأستاذ طامس بن علي الحمادي، نائب محافظ الهيئة للمواصفات والمختبرات.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله صباحكم جميعا، أصحاب السعادة، السيدات والسادة، الأخوة الحضور الكريم. يسعدني أن أرحب بكم في الهيئة السعودية للمواصفات والمقاييس والجودة لنواصل سويا مسار الشراكة والتكامل في بيننا، والذي بدأناه في نوفمبر 2014 بعد توقيع 78 شركة من مصنع السيارات حول العالم على مذكرات تفاهم مع الهيئة للالتزام بمتطلبات المعيار السعودي لاقتصاد الوقود، حيث تمثل تلك الشركات حوالي 99% من مبيعات السيارات في المملكة. إن اهتمام الدولة بهذا البرنامج منذ بدايته يؤكد اهتمامها وحرصها الكبير على مواكبة التطور العالمي في التوجه نحو الحفاظ على الوقود وترشيد استهلاكه لما يحمله من عوائد اقتصادية وبيئية لبلدنا المعطاء. حضور الكريم، استكمالا للتجربة السابقة الريادية للمملكة العربية السعودية في التعاون مع الشركات العالمية في مجال السيارات، والمتمثلة في تعاون عدد كبير من مصنعي السيارات حول العالم، بالإضافة إلى الجهات المشاركة في البرنامج السعودي لكفاءة الطاقة لتطبيق المعيار السعودي لاقتصاد الوقود السعودي كفاءة، والذي يهدف إلى تحفيز الشركات المصنعة للمركبات على إدخال أحدث تكنولوجيات كفاءة الطاقة إلى المملكة وتخفيض استيراد المركبات المجهزة بتكنولوجيات قديمة ولا تتوافق مع حاجات السوق، واستمراراً للتعاون البناء بين الهيئة وشركائها من الشركات الصانعة للسيارات في مجال إعداد المواصفات القياسية للسيارات، والذي تسعى من خلاله الهيئة دائماً أن تكون تلك المواصفات مواكبة لأحدث الأنظمة والتقنيات الحديثة والمطبقة في الدول المتقدمة. فقد قامت الهيئة بتنظيم هذه الورشة لمناقشة ملاحظات الشركات الصانعة حول المرحلة الثانية من معيار اقتصاد الوقود السعودي 2021 إلى 2023. كما تستهدف الورشة أيضاً مناقشة أي ملاحظات أو معوقات للشركات الصانعة على النظام الخاص بإصدار بطاقة اقتصاد الوقود للعمل على إصدار البطاقات دون أي صعوبات تواجه تلك الشركات الصانعة، وكذلك للتعريف باللائحة الفنية للمركبات الكهربائية والإجراءات الخاصة باستيرادها. الحضور الكريم، قبل الختام أود التأكيد على أننا في هيئة المواصفات وضمن آلية التكامل المعمول بها مع شركائنا في البرنامج السعودي لكفاءة الطاقة والجهات ذات العلاقة نرحب بشكل دائم بكل جهد أو فكرة ترسخ التنمية المستدامة في مملكتنا الغالية ويحافظ على مواردنا الطبيعية من الطاقة ويحقق المصالح والمنافع الاقتصادية المشتركة فيما بيننا. أكرر شكري وتقديري للجميع للحضور، وبشكل خاص للشركاء من الشركات الصانعة للسيارات على الحضور والمشاركة، وبإذن الله ستكون مشاركة فاعلة في هذه الورشة اليوم، متطلعين دائما إلى أن نتلقى كافة ملاحظاتكم ومرئياتكم، وأسأل الله التوفيق والسداد للجميع. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الحضور الكرام، قامت الهيئة السعودية للمواصفات والمقاييس والجودة بالتعاون مع الجهات المعنية في البرنامج السعودي لكفاءة الطاقة بتحديث المواصفة القياسية الخاصة بمعيار اقتصاد الوقود في مرحلته الثانية لمواكبة التطورات العالمية في هذا الجانب. وقد تم إقامة هذه الورشة لمناقشة الملاحظات والآراء لدى الشركات المصنعة للسيارات باعتبارها أحد أهم محاور النجاح، حيث نبدأ الآن بتقديم نظرة عامة على المرحلة الثانية من معيار اقتصاد الوقود السعودي من 2021 إلى 2023. نتبعه بمشيئة الله تعالى بمناقشة الاستفسارات والملاحظات الواردة من الشركات الصانعة على معيار اقتصاد الوقود. يقدمه لكم المهندس طلال الروقي من المركز السعودي لكفاءة الطاقة.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of SEEK and SAS, I would like to welcome you all here. My name is Talal, and from Saudi Energy Efficiency Center. Today, as you know, we are going to address the common questions and comments that's raised on second phase of Saudi Cafe from 2020 until 2023. As you know, we have shared the second draft of Saudi Cafe with all OEMs, and we have reviewed. We received the feedback from SASU, feedback to SASU from all manufacturers. We have grouped all the comments in 7 groups. So we're going to discuss all these categories in the next sessions. Okay. SASU and SEEK, we have received all comments from all OEMs, and we have reviewed all questions and comments. We have to group all the comments under the main 7 categories. We're going to discuss all of them for next minutes. So these sessions will be divided in 3 sessions. So first we're going to discuss or we're going to have a brief overview in second phase of fuel economy. And secondly, we will address the feedback and discuss any discussion questions regarding the standards. So please, if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end of this presentation. Okay, Saudi Cafe was adopted in 2016 based on US NETSA, and we using time lag adoption schedule, 4 years time lag from 2016 until 2018. and 3 years time lag from 2019 to 2023. As you can see from the figure, we have expected average year-over-year improvement rate 3.9 from 2021 until 2023. Actually, as we know that EBA postponed their target issue from June 2018 to winter 2019. So we have assessed multiple options to tackle any proposed change by EBA. So we have decided to publish the second phase until 2023. So as I mentioned before, after receiving all comments, we have to group them in these 7 categories. First, we've got some comments on fuel equivalency calculation, and then we've got there are multiple question treatment of new technologies, and we've got some questions in OC and AC tests and techniques. Also, we've got some questions on credits and WLTP test as well. And also, we're going to look at the questions that on derogation program, and we've got also some comments on Kafé portal. For fuel economic equivalency calculations, actually we've got this section has 2 main points, which first we've got some proposal from manufacturer on our calculation methodology. Also, we've got some questions on battery electrical vehicle and the plug-in hybrid fuel economy formulas. We're going to look at the comments that and proposal on fuel economy calculation. We appreciate your proposal and comments. We have received 3 proposals. A, adopting the US calculation methodology, and the second one, adding credit multiplier for EVs. Also, we've got a proposal to increase gap with US CAFE instead of 3 years time lag to 4 years. Just I want to mention something. All of these proposals have been discussed in detail last workshop, so we're going to go through it briefly. We have received comments, as I said before, and Saudi Cafe. They have highlighted that our target's too strict, so they proposal to adopt EBA calculations. For calculation methodology and credit multiplier and target gap. For calculation methodology, as you know, electrical gasoline coefficients varies per country according to several factors, and the generation electricity coefficients and efficiency, and distribution efficiency and gasoline. We adopt USA NETSA targets, but we have to adjust it to reflect our local context. So in this matter, we need to concern about local context. So we have adjusted their calculation methodology to reflect our approach. The second proposal was about credit multipliers. We know is technical, or can say technology promotion used in some countries, and these used to sometimes to encourage EV adoption, and in US sometimes used it to for some political industrial reason. As you know, we are concerned about energy efficiency, and we're not so interested in encouraging or technology promotions. Target gap, as you know, we are 3 years behind US. So manufacturer can use the technology they're using to meet US targets, to meet our targets. So I didn't think so. 3 years gap is that big or critical issue for OEMs. And according to our forecasting, a large or can say overwhelming majority of OEMs will meet our targets based on our forecasting for these 4 second phase. The second sections under fuel economy equivalency calculations, we have received requests or questions for clarification on battery electrical vehicle and plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle formula. We received requests to regard to energy consumption value in a fuel economy formula for battery electrical vehicles. So the manufacturer should use the combination of city and highway for energy consumption and use it into fuel equivalency for battery electrical vehicles. So we will make required clarification on the published version, on the draft, based on this clarification. Also, we got the same questions regarding to the plug-in hybrid also to clarify the energy consumption even MDI US. The manufacturer should account energy consumption as a combination of city and highway, so that will be reflected in the published version. The other section, which is the treatment of new technology, we've got some questions regarding to include the fuel cell electrical vehicle, fuel economy calculation. Also, we've got some question regarding to electrical vehicle and diesel infrastructure, even for the quality of a fuel. Other technology-related questions as well. So now let's look at the request or clarification in fuel cell electrical vehicle to be included in the calculation. We received requests regarding inclusion of fuel economy calculation for a fuel cell electrical vehicle along with suggested methodology. Actually, we have studied the latest developments of a fuel cell, and as we see, is still in the early deployment stage, and is not widely spread, and will not expected, and this technology will not be expected widely commercialized. So, as today in Saudi Arabia has a limited infrastructure for this type of technology, we see this technology not suitable to our markets. However, we will consider to include this technology at a later stage. Got some questions regarding electrical vehicle and diesel infrastructures and quality of fuel. We received questions regarding its effort in driving electrical vehicle charging and diesel fuel infrastructure. Also, we request and continue improvement of fuel quality to enable the introduction of new technologies. For example, Euro 5 engine. In terms of electrical vehicle charging infrastructure, we are actually in the process of issuing standards and other requirements. And after issuing the standards, it's going to open for everyone to step in and to invest in these infrastructures. For diesel fueling infrastructure, we are actually encouraging and meet with the relevant stakeholders and to improve their infrastructures. We are working in this through initiatives, enabling, working enablers, and for encouraging stakeholders to develop their infrastructure to handle the diesel supply. The quality of a fuel diesel, we know it's very important for efficient engine, and we are currently, we have a team, we are part of the team, SASU and SEEK. We are working on mandating and promoting the introduction of a clean fuel. For EV charging infrastructures, it's going to be in the third sessions, I think. The third session is going to be my colleagues in SASU will go in details and will explain to you the electrical vehicle initiative or standards and certification process as well. Other technology-related questions. We received questions regarding when electrical vehicle will be allowed to be imported for commercial sales in KSA. Actually, we have issued a technical regulation, and we will launch soon the certification process. So, as I said, within the next few months, all manufacturers will be able to commercialize commercial sales and import their electrical vehicle in Kingdom Saudi Arabia. As I said before, this will be covered in the end sessions for more details. We've received questions to launch user incentives and scheme to promote certain technology. As we know, technology promotion, as I mentioned before, it's is implemented globally, and we see these countries use it to encourage their local technical sector, to encourage them to adoption or to technology promotion. As I mentioned, that's our high priority. We are focusing on energy efficiency. We received questions on new technology, like what's the minimum requirement for electrical vehicle and hybrid to be part of the manufacturer fleet. We don't expect any minimum requirements to be part of the fleet, even hybrid or electrical vehicle. So we leave like for manufacturers, so they have the decision to include or not. We see vehicle with internal combustion might have better fuel economy than the electrical vehicle. So we will leave it up to them to decide. For AC and OC test technologies, under this section we've got like some comments regarding to OC credit limits and testing and reporting as well, also for additional technologies. For OC credit limits, go request to align with US credit limits for off-cycle efficiency credits as currently or as implemented in US. They applied the limit for OC credit, 10 gram per mile, on manual credit only. In our standards, it mentions that applies to all OC technology, regardless methods of testing. So we will update the wording in the published version of the draft to align with the US. Testing and reporting. Well, in this section, we have some comments on the AC-17 test and platform model. Also, we've got some question AC-17 testing timing, deadline, and publishing ACOC test report. For AC-17 test and platform model, we've got some requests to accept conducting AC-17 test similar to EBA. We will accept AC-17 test report. The manufacturer can choose the highest cell and platform to conduct AC-17 test, and for first model year, and for second model year, we'll choose the second highest selling as well. So in this matter, we accept this testing. AC-17 testing timing, we received to extend the deadline for submission. It was on 1st of March, so we have considered this issue, and we extend until 1st of May. Publishing AC and OC testing reports. Some manufacturer request to publish technology report or methods that's used by other manufacturer. It's currently we are considering this request. However, we want to hear from you all to in this request later or by email. We had some question additional technologies. We received a request to add some technology like eco-innovation technologies, also high efficiency alternator, and cold storage of evaporators. At the moment, we didn't see any evidence that we will add these technology to the predefined technology list. Manufacturer may generate these credits under this title, paragraph CMD. We will require the manufacturer to submit the report regarding this method. However, we will accept all methods that as long as fulfill our requirements. Also, we had some questions regarding credits, price mechanism, and a new report. For price mechanism, we received requests providing the price mechanism for dealing with the credit deficit accumulated. Some manufacturer proposed to adapt NETSA rate, $5.5 per 0.1 MPG of deficit. Actually, we appreciate your proposal, and it's not possible to adapt the global rate without studying implications in KSA. As you know, we need to look at the potential impact of implementing this mechanism. We know it has some benefits and challenges. in terms of markets. Even for our fuel economy, it might have direct impact from this mechanism price. However, we will study this proposal and we'll come up with a clear verdict at earlier opportunity. A new report. We have received requests for publishing a new credit report that include CAFE-related information on manufacturer. Actually, we will, within next month, we will publish a new credit report for 2017 calendar year. And for 2018, we will publish it after finalize the year-end reports. We've got several questions regarding to Worldwide Duty Test Procedure, WLTP. We received requests asking provision of convergent table for WLTP based on fuel economy reports. As far as we know, U.S. has not taken any position in this regard, in this treatment of this testing. We are focusing, or we are implementing or conducting NEDC, so manufacturer can convert CAFE NEDC to CAFE conversion. WLTP to NEDC conversion can be conducted using simulations. However, this procedure, same testing procedure, we use this procedure as US and provided conversion table for NEDC to CAFE. We'll consider in alignment with USA and worldwide. We had some question in the irrigation program. Some questions in vehicle type that fall under sales figure. Also, in case of disqualification on the irrigation program. Also, we've got question on improvement requirements as well. For vehicle types, manufacturers should include BC and LT as based according to our fuel economy standards. Manufacturers that not qualified through a derogation program, actually we haven't faced this issue before. However, if that possible, we will sit with the relevant stakeholders, even with the manufacturer, to come up with a suitable agreement. We had some questions regarding to improvement requirement for manufacturers that anticipate in the irrigation program. They will be required to achieve the same level of annual improvement on fuel CAFE, and so that's for small value manufacturing. So they have to require to achieve the same level as fuel economy standards mentioned. Some questions on the fuel economy portal. We appreciate your questions and our requests on this matter. We had some questions on functionalities on the portal, on capability of upload CAFE applications, files, and we've got some questions regarding to the functionality according to the edits and capability to input AC and OC credits as well, and improve the efficiency of updating plan. We appreciate all your questions. We know our system needs some improvement. We have sat with the IT team. We have discussed these questions and issue, and will be changes if possible soon. Well, request to publish Saudi Cafe Phase 3 in January 2024. We so that Phase 3 will be published in this regard before December 2021, as requested from manufacturer 24 months before the enforcement cycle. So will be published before December 2021. Thank you so much for listening to me. That's most or the comment questions that we have received from all the manufacturer. And I'm so happy to answer your questions, or maybe is there a session for open discussions? Mohammed?
I would like to thank my colleague Talal Al-Rogi for his presentation. Now we're going to take a 15-minute break, and then we're going to go back for the open discussion.
حلو خلاص.
Welcome back. Now the time for discussion and your question. Before that, I would like to just comment on the subject of the technology of specification of the radio, digital, and analog broadcasting receiver, AM, FM, and DAB+, which was notified to the World Trade Organization. The draft of the first standard that has been distributed for 60 days, starting from March 5th. The draft standards focused on digital and analog broadcasting receiver for AM, FM, and DAB+. The standard also planned to be approved as a mandatory standard, and the enforcement date will start from January 1st, 2021. We are currently receiving a number of comments regarding this standard, and would like to thank Mr. Teddy Coyne for his comments. In addition, there is a working group from SASO about this topic, and we are reviewing all comments and discuss it with the related authorities. If anyone here have any comments regarding this topic, please feel free to send it to info@saso.gov.sa. Now, with your comments and questions, if anyone has any comment. Okay.
Hello, this is Miyashita from Nissan. Can I ask can I go back to the cafe related for the questionnaire? My question is.
Which slide?
エアコンオフサイクル ACOC クレジットテストリポートサブミッション。That one. Sorry. No, let's testing. Next, please. Sorry. Next slide. Yes, next slide. Yes, that one. Yes, it's okay. Thank you. Yes. First of all, thank you very much for your consideration about our comment to be issued for the phase 2 regulation. I'm very appreciate to consider our comment itself. But first of all, I want to confirm about AC17 test timing itself. And also, thank you very much for your consider about the submission test limit from March to May. Then, this is also appreciate things, but I want to confirm about in USA is up
In?
USA
Okay.
is data submission limit is March 2021 for 20 calendar years. But approval from USA is 1 year later. That means in the May, we don't know our technology can be approved by USA yet, just only submission. I mean, before going to approve by USA, we can apply to your countries. Do you understand what I mean?
As I understand so far, is in US, they're conducting this test in 2021, and we are requesting manufacturers submit this test in 2022, 2020. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Then,
So what are you requesting for? To be aligned with the US?
we have the test report for USA also. Of course, we can apply. We can submit to the USA
All right.
by the March of the 2021. But this is not approved yet by the government. Just submit it.
Okay.
Then after 2 months, we can supply the test report itself. But this is not approved by USA yet.
All right.
Is this condition is acceptable for you?
Actually, yeah, we'll accept it. It's fine. As we understand, we can accept that things. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
to be so we submit. خلاص? AC17. All right. Yeah. We consider your comments.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And also, so second, just another one question. So the off-cycle credit test report also can be extended to the March to the May?
We already extended to 1st of May.
Yeah.
So to be aligned with US.
I mean, not only the aircon credit report, but also off-cycle credit
Of cycle?
also can be extended by the March? May, from March to May?
So you are now requesting for AC and OC reports, you mean submission?
Yes.
And
Not only AC, OC report also
All right.
extended to the March, to the May.
to the May, it's fine. For the current situation for AC and OC test is أنت بتقدم في
I think the yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Clear
Yeah,
question.
clear.
But I mean, what is the current situation in the US? I think there is no extension for the OC credits. It's for AC only, right?
That point is my question is, just question. Only AC or OC also can be extended? That is my
Yeah. Your question is clear. But I mean, the current situation in the US is for the AC17 only. This is the extension. And we will be aligned with the US regarding the AC17 only.
Yes. So in the U.S., the deadline for the off-cycle credits and the AC credits are the end of March to have them calculated.
All right.
But to submit through the online portal in the U.S., that's May 1st.
May 1st.
So
Is it for AC? Or no?
for the AC efficiency credits
OC.
and the off-cycle credits.
All right.
May 1st is when they're due in the online portal in the U.S.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we accept it.
Right.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's accepted as my colleague mentioned. We want to align with the US. We don't need an extra
requirements. That's why when it's accepted by the US, we will accept it.
السلام عليكم. اسمي أنغام ناس from Mitsubishi Motors. First, please allow me to put my comments for 3 minutes. First, I wish to thank SASO for providing this platform for stakeholders to give their opinion about the second phase of the SASO fuel efficiency standards. During the phase 1 implementation period, Mitsubishi Motors worked hard to increase the sales of vehicles that more efficient in place of those are not very efficient. As SASO may confirm, the effort were successful as our credits have been on a steady increase, although we struggled during the first year. In line with our efforts to increase the sales of fuel-efficient vehicles, we hope to introduce the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Mitsubishi Motors is the largest producer of PHEV, of which accumulated sales of 173,000 units. The vehicles has been received very well in the United States and was among the top-selling plug-in hybrid electric vehicles in Europe in 2018. However, calculation for the fuel efficiency using the Saudi Arabian formula yielded a discouraging result. In KSA, the Outlander PHEV would earn credit 70% less than in US, while the same vehicle model earned 3 times more credits in the US, and 5 times credit when the incentives are included. That is clearly a huge difference. Based on our analysis, the less credit in the Saudi Arabia are because in KSA calculation includes well-to-tank and tank-to-wheel portions, while in the US they use the tank-to-wheel approach only. By excluding well-to-tank portion, the United States is able to assess the vehicles based purely on its efficiencies. The other factor that contribute to the differences is the lack of the incentives in the KSA formula. In the United States formula, the PHEV credits are multiplied by a factor of 1.6.
1.5.
Okay. Our request to SASO is therefore that they may consider looking into the formula such that it will only include the tank-to-wheel section only. In addition, we suggest introduction of incentives, such a factor number by which the credit for electric vehicles will be multiplied. Also, SASO can introduce super credits for manufacturers that sell a certain number of electric vehicles. We believe this will encourage manufacturers to bring their most efficient vehicles to the Saudi Arabian market. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your clarification and questions. Actually, as I mentioned before, regarding to the calculation methodology, as I said, we are in theory aligned with US, but we adjusted our calculations to reflect our local context. We have more flexibilities. First phase, we have flexibility regarding to the phase in and phase out, and we have extra or double credits for AC, and our target is lower than US target. For EV, as far as we know, is intended to encourage EV adoptions to to be, encouraging this technology in many countries. We are enhancing the EV introduction and penetration. But as I said before, we have to look at our local context, and this matters. So this is what we want to clarify about. So every countries rely on their local context. I know there's some we have approaches different to US. So, but we need to consider our local, I can say our methodology should be based in our local context. Is that clear?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dan Frakes from General Motors, and just wanted to really first thank SASO for hosting such an event and keeping the open dialogue that we have with the industry. It's very important. We very much appreciate it, and we think that it helps work towards common goals so SASO can help Saudi Arabia meet the goals of the country. We did, again, appreciate the presentation this morning and some of the concessions and views of the comments from the industry that were accepted. So thank you very much for that. One of the items that I just wanted to highlight, if you look at the globe in terms of regulated markets, obviously many countries are looking to continue to be very stringent on fuel economy. And as part of this, there's lots of levers available to get to compliance within many of these countries. And at the level of stringency that we're seeing around the globe today, the internal combustion engine cannot stand on its own to be solely as a compliance lever. If you look at the U.S., which you have great knowledge of, we see things like off-cycle credits and credit purchase and the treatment that they give EVs that was discussed here a little bit earlier this morning. You'll see many comments from the members in the room that EVs are a compliance lever in the United States, something that all manufacturers at this point are relying on. I would like to ask SASO respectfully to take a look at the recent report that was released from the EPA, the 2017 Trends Report. It will give you an idea of what the industry is doing in terms of credit generation. And actually in this report we're showing the amount of credits that are really being used and taken away because of the stringency going forward. So for sure we need, as OEMs, lots of different compliance levers available to choose from. And we had several options in comments through the various associations. And I know you mentioned that you have taken into local considerations treatment for electric vehicles and the factors here in Saudi Arabia. With one of the comments that was submitted looking at potentially a 4-year offset, we would like to see if you could assess that and maybe have further discussions with the industry around a 4-year offset instead of the other options that were offered earlier. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, what we'd like to mention, as you know, we have time lag. So our standard right now is covering 3 years. So the manufacturer, due to we are behind US actually 3 years. So I don't know what's the issue that you are facing in order to meet our targets. You have 3 years behind. We have 3 years behind US. So you can use the technology that you are already using in US to meet our targets. Also, we have done actually analysis and estimations. We see the whole whelming of manufacturer will meet our targets, so won't be any critical issue, I think, for them. So I don't know why most of the manufacturers are concerned about it. I can say more than 90% they will meet our targets for phase 2. So there is no any that issue will be for phase 2. So I know the importance of EV. So we are encouraging and we are enhancing the EV penetrations. It's fine for us. So but in terms of calculation, we should look at our local methodology. We need to look at our distribution efficiency. We need to look at the generation efficiency as well. I don't think it's that fair to just adopt other country calculation and we use it here. So right now for phase 2, most of manufacturers, overwhelming of them, majority of them, they will meet our targets. So there won't be any critical issue for them, I think so.
So to follow up on what Dan started talking about, the trends reports that the EPA puts out in the U.S., in the report for the 2016 model year that came out last year, that was the first time that industry as a whole in the U.S. was not meeting the CAFE targets without having to use credits. So that was the level of technology across the whole fleet was at the point of having to burn credits. And in 2017, it's even more credits have to be burned. So to basically think of it as the 2016 tendency in the U.S. is about as good as conventional technology it's going to be. And the historic industry ramp rate is about a 1% improvement per year from that. Whereas the standards now are jumping up at 4.5% or so.
But we're still lower than U.S.
A year.
From 10 to 15, percent.
Right.
Yeah.
They're still lower, but it's projecting out in the future. Really, the only big knob to get better than the 2016 industry standard is electrification. And that's why there's lots of incentives for electrification in the U.S. and other markets in the world. So that's why when we start talking about things like going back to a 4-year offset, it's getting back to that historic performance of the industry in 2016 is about as good as you can be without having electrification. And beyond that, it's looking for other tools to fill in that gap. That's just the truth of what that technology is able to do.
That's brilliant. Technology promotion used in many countries. I think just for sometimes for industrial and political reason, they encourage them to benefit and advantage the local sectors. So to adopt these EV technologies. But right now we are focusing on energy efficiency, so it's not our high priority to, for these promote these technologies. I know very important for manufacturers, but at least, as I said before, we manufacture. There is no critical issue for them. They can meet our targets. Credits is very important, but we have double credits for AC, so that's extra. Even the LDV vehicle weights, we are lower than US for 3,000 kilograms. So and we still, for ease, we weight like from 2016, 18, 4 years behind US, and now from 18 to we have 3 years as well. So as I say, it is implemented globally, I think, to incentives and for these type of technology, but it's not our high priority actually for them.
Yes. So if it's not the high priority, then just reducing the overall stringency is kind of the technology neutral way to still have a standard that pushes industry to be as good as it can be without promoting one technology over the other.
You can promote technology in regard of fuel economy, how to improve fuel economy. It's not about adoption of other technologies. So we encourage manufacturers to enhance technology regarding the energy efficiency.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just to close the parenthesis here on the 4 years story, as you know that the US is using the model year for the target, while the Saudi is using, SASO and SEEK is using the calendar year. And the importance of this difference is going to be huge in the next 3 years. Why? Because in calendar year 23, for example, most of the fleet will be sold in Saudi will be model year 24. And nobody knows today what's the target for model year 24. And in average is 50% to 75% of the year would be with the model year 24. So that's why the difference between 4 years is very crucial for the achievement of the SASO target on the 24. So we just offering a different solution for you to choose. It's up to you to choose either 2 4 years in this situation. The other is to have a flat target between 22 and 23, okay? Or the third one is to release the 3.89% of increase that you just mentioned this morning out of the last year. So in that case, you don't promote the EVs technology that it looks like it's not your favorite. The other way is to keep the stringency within the reach of the SASO target. So it's a proposal. Please give it a thought, and we will be happy to discuss it more if you want.
Actually, we appreciate your proposal. And do you have any comments? Actually, we appreciate your proposal, what I mean so far. But I mean, these proposals might be discussed like at later stages. We are right now for phase 2. We don't see any critical issue. I know most of manufacturers worried about the targets and how to be compliant with our targets. Most of them highlighted so strict our targets, but we haven't done this so far. We assessed multiple options. We didn't see any issue for them, actually. Most of them all meet our targets in second phase. So it's like doing phase 2, it was based on our analysis, based on our forecasting for all manufacturers. So I don't know why that's be like critical issue. But as I said, we appreciate your proposal. Can be considered in later stages, but it's not at the moment.
So just to make it clear, we can share with you, our manufacturer, because this is a confidential information, what's the impact of this difference on the gap that will be the manufacturer not achieving their target, and consequently you can see the impact on the overall CAFE. Might be today you see the overall picture that too many manufacturers are achieving, but down the road in 3 years that will not be the case. So we can send you this information just to give you more clarity on the proposal, and what we are really respectfully asking for is to consider it for your thought process.
Good. Please share it with us. But I have 2 questions, if you allow me. The first one is the calendar year. It isn't easier than the model year because the vehicle is improving. And when you use the calendar year, it will be easier than model year. Isn't right?
Well, I don't have the full answer, but the easier is to have the same process like the US, so you report the same way. So you don't need to pull the data out from 2 different reports in the US and then consolidate it for Saudi. So that's for the only part on the easiest side.
Okay. What I mean, when we consider, when we add the 2000, let's say 2000, when we use 2021 calendar year, okay, you will add the 2022 model year, right?
Mostly.
And the vehicle is improving. This will make the targets easier than calendar year.
The improvement of the efficiency is based on the lifetime of every model. So sometimes in most of the cases from 21 to 22 for all the manufacturers, it's a carryover programs. Mm-hmm. The improvement will come mainly when you are introducing new technology, or you are introducing a new engine for the same vehicle, or you are introducing brand new vehicle. And this is not happening on a considerable percentage out of the total fleet from a year to year. Uh-huh. So back to your point about the easiness, if we are reporting the same way on the same timing, that will make it easy, if this is the point you are asking for.
Okay.
Okay, a small question actually. Can I know, or can we have, from where actually you got the idea that no one is facing any issues complying to the phase 2, and it's not going to be critical for us? Can we get from where you built this? In your presentation, in your respectful presentation, you mentioned that you know the forecast for the companies that they're not gonna meet any problems or any crucial problems meeting with the targets for the phase 2. Can we know from where you build this analysis?
From where? We have done our analysis based on each manufacturer's performance. So based on your company performance, we've made our analysis.
No, I think that, so any company shared already the 21 to 23 forecast?
Yeah, from 2021 to 2023. Our forecast based on your company performance. So we have predict your performance for the 3 years. So we have seen most or overwhelming, more than 90% will meet our targets.
Okay.
Hey, no worry. You will be happy.
Because actually,
No, this is a forecasting. This is not a not a fact. This is a forecasting.
Yeah, our expect is your performance.
because actually coming back to Wael's point that the model year, it's like I'm bringing the same vehicle with the same technology in the model year, as an example, 18 and model year 19, but the targets are getting tougher. So the same vehicle with the model year 18 is going to get me something like 1 credit. Next year is going to get me negative credit because I'm not adding any vehicle, any technology for it or anything to improve it. But it's the same vehicle, but the targets are getting tougher or getting higher. That's why considering those models is going to get us...
calendar year and model year, yeah?
Sorry?
For calendar year and model year, so your issue with this...
no, I'm just explaining that as a forecasting, those vehicles are getting lower and lower. That's why the targets are getting tougher and tougher for the companies.
No, but our forecasting is based on also improvement in each model also. It's not the same. It's based on the previous years. We do the forecasting, and always the models is improved, not in the current situation.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, this is Clemens Brinkmeyer from Porsche. But I'm not speaking on a specific company position, neither on an association position, but I just like to pick up your comment that you made before, because just having seen the faces outside in the coffee break, that didn't give me, like the manufacturer's faces. You know, we are not allowed to share our projected sales numbers due to antitrust. So everything is about, I didn't have the feeling that those faces do reflect a sure compliance situation. So I won't comment on our own situation as well, but I'm not really convinced, but I'm not the expert, but I'm not convinced there wasn't just the feeling that there would be too much compliance. And if I understood it right, you cannot buy yourself into compliance one day. So we need to be sure, or we need to have some chance to get into compliance if the projected situation would not be exactly like you assume right now. So just a frank feedback from the coffee break and some of the atmosphere I got before, basically there might be not a surplus of compliance, let's say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is your assumptions. So based on our assumptions and based on our forecasting, I'm sure like a overwhelming majority of you will be compliant, and make sure we don't step forward unless we have made more analysis. It's not a case we are just all right, we get this target and then we don't care what's going on and the result of our decisions. We take in our considerations many things and factors in our analysis for each manufacturer, for each their performance, even for we take care for each model. So is like I'm not is still forecasting for all manufacturers, but I'm sure is more than 90% will be compliance. I'm sure. Yeah, just.
Okay, my name is Bao Xiang from China Automotive and the Research Center. and which is called Qatar. And I'm so, I could say I'm so honored to be here to attend this meeting. And I would like to thank the Saudi Arabia government for such an open attitude for discussing this standard and the efforts the government made for improving the fuel economy of the automobile and reducing the emission of the carbon dioxide. And it's happy to see that more and more manufacturers from China come to Saudi Arabia too, and won the recognitions and by many consumers, by many, And Qatar as the Secretariat of National Technical Committee of the Automobile Standardization, and also the think tank of the government. And we would like to strengthen the cooperation with SASO in like certification or test, or product test, and also the international standard coordination. And we would like to establish the strong link with the manufacturers and the SASO. And I only have one question. I found that in the standard, for promoting the development of the electric vehicles are mentioned. And I wonder, does SASO has any further plan for promoting this industry, like the tax reduction or some subsidies? That's all my questions.
Thank you for your question. As for the cooperation, we appreciate this, and we're going to see how could we have the benefits from that cooperation with you all. For the subsidies, nothing yet, and once we have something, we're going to announce it.
Thank you.
السلام عليكم. ماهر العبيد, مجموعة القريشي, representing Great Wall Motors from China. We are the representative here. I have two questions with regards to the CAF. First, now we heard that there is phase 1 and phase 2. Now, those companies who have deficit in phase 1, will they be able to compensate or rectify in phase 2 if they improve their credit? That's the question number one. Question number two is related to the diesel. You know, the diesel is one of the areas to improve efficiency. But what we're facing is that the quality of diesel versus what's available with the manufacturer, the engines are advanced, so they are not workable here. And that is really is an issue, because we have a lot of solutions and we are not able to use it. Because I think we are still using Euro 3 while the world is now in Euro 5 in the diesel quality. And there is no clarity, or deadlines, or where we're going to have this diesel issue is solved.
First questions was if manufacturers have deficits? In
the phase 1,
phase 1,
and they come to phase 2, will they be able to rectify or reduce the deficit from the credit of phase 2?
That depends on your performance. So that's why manufacturers should care about.
So the question is, the answer is yes. Yeah. If we improve our efficiency in phase 2, it will. So it doesn't mean that we will start from zero in phase. It will write off the deficit.
So you can offset the deficits. So it depends on manufacturers' market, or they can shape their fleet to meet and to generate credits.
Okay, so
for diesel, we know is very important characteristics for efficient vehicles. And as I said before, we are really have a team. We are working to mandating and promoting diesel. Also, we working in initiatives to enabling and sit with relevant stakeholders to improve their infrastructure to handle the diesel. So hopefully or we can say like for a few, might be a few years, or I can say like 1 year or two is going to be handled in each stations.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Murray Paul from Jaguar Land Rover. Thank you very much for your consideration on the alignment or possible alignment with a fine system on compliance within the US, and also on the OEM credit reports to be published every year. I've got one question about that and then another question about EV. The first question is, will the credit report allow OEMs to trade credit? So those 90% in credit could trade with the 10% that are going to be in deficit on that. That's my first question. And my second question was on EV certification. So you've mentioned in the next few months that you should be in a position to launch something. Do you anticipate that will be in time to make EVs available in 20 model year?
Well, for the first questions, the manufacturer can trade their credits, but an agreement between of them. You say before the 10% or?
Well, you said 90% should be compliant, so I'm working that 10% won't be compliant on the basis of that.
Which manufacturer?
I'm just speaking on behalf of the 10%, not for ourselves.
Actually, is the current situation, manufacturer can trade the credits between them. We're not involved in their agreements, and we have received proposal to have a price mechanism, and we appreciate this proposal to buy credits from governments, but we cannot implement this mechanism unless we study the potential impact on implementing such of this treatment. So that's for first questions. EV infrastructure, certification process, something? The second questions?
Yes, so you said that you're ready in the next couple of months to provide a certification, local certification process.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate that will be in time for manufacturers to sell EVs for 20 model year?
Certainly, okay.
For the certification, in the next session will be an introduction for the certification for the EVs. And for the starting, it depends on the situation, and we're gonna announce when we're gonna accepting the applications for the EVs.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Nakahara from Toyota Motor Corporation. First of all, thank you for offering this precious opportunity to directly communicate with SASO and SEEK management. And also we appreciate your initiative for the activity to reduce fuel consumption in the kingdom. And also appreciate your feedback to our request. So we, Toyota Motor Corporation, we'd like to ask for your kind consideration for the incentives and the super credit of the hybrid electric vehicles. We believe hybrid electric vehicles are the realistic solution to reduce the fuel consumption for short to mid-term perspective, because the large number of vehicle sales of hybrid with lower fuel efficiency contribute to the large amount of fuel consumption reduction. So this is not related to the technology promotion, but related to the support for fuel consumption reduction, we believe. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much for your considerations and clarification. We know, as I said before and as I explained, it's very important for manufacturers. So we, as I said, we are working now in process certification. So manufacturers will be able to import EV's vehicle to Kingdom within next month. So we are encouraging them, actually. We're not, as I said before, we are enhancing vehicle penetration. So manufacturers have the options for them.
One more question here I have.
Okay. My name is Gomak from Toyota Motor Corporation. My question is, if we earn some credits in 2020 calendar year, can we use it for 2021 calendar year? I mean, the continuation of phase 1 and phase 2.
Well, you mean if you got credits for phase 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can carry it forward for phase 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. And the second question is again, FCEV, fuel cell vehicle, fuel cell electric vehicle. So your presentation has some year of 2025, and so what will you do regarding FCEV before 2025 and after 2025?
That's based on hydrogen council. So is it still still in earlier deployment stage? And based on hydrogen council, that will be not expected to be worldwide before 2025.
So the point is the penetration of the FCEV in the kingdom. Is that correct?
And
the popularity of FCEV in the kingdom is the key point.
We see it not suitable for us as a result of limited infrastructure for it. But we will consider it at a later stage.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, very small question. Okay. There is any estimated time for the price mechanism when it can be finalized? There is any estimated time for the price mechanism when it will be finalized?
Faris. Mechanism price.
We are working on this. We cannot give you a deadline. Sorry, I know you need that, but we are working. In a few months, we will inform you about that. And if we need more information, we will contact the manufacturers and ask them about the analysis and etc. And it will be in the few months, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
This is Ahmed Khalifa from PSA Group, from Peugeot. I actually have two follow-up points from the last meeting, last workshop we had last year, actually. The first point is, you mentioned last year that there would be customer acceptance research regarding fuel-efficient vehicles, and then it would be published. I'm not sure if I have the only case, or maybe there's no access, but has it been published and access given to everyone regarding the customer acceptance of more fuel-efficient vehicles? Last year there was a mention that you would publish. Yes, that you would publish a report regarding it.
I didn't think so. Did we mention that we will publish?
Yes.
I should know.
Can you clarify? Can you clarify it? What is it? Okay, we will share it, inshallah. We will share it. We did a study about that, but let me check if, we will share it, inshallah, if it's finished. And ready to publish.
Thank you for clarification. Thank you.
Okay.
The second question or the second comment was, last year there was a lot of comments from the manufacturers regarding the portal and the usability of the portal, entering of credits, etc. And it was a very good initiative mentioned from you last year that there would be a workshop specifically regarding the portal. So
regarding to the portal?
Regarding the portal, regarding the user accessibility, usage, etc. There was an initiative last year that you would have another workshop for that. So can we reinitiate discussion to have that workshop, because I think it was very good. I think a lot of us had some challenges.
Actually, we have just only a new workshop, one workshop every year. So if you have any suggestion or clarification about the portal, as I said, we've received multiple comments in the portal about the functionalities.
Exactly.
I mean, we've set with the IT teams, we'll consider all your comments regarding the portal. We know the portal needs some developments in terms of uploading files and even for AC and OC. So it's fine. But in terms of conducting a workshop to discuss the portal, I'm not.
As my colleague mentioned, and if you have additional comments about the portal, and please share it with us, because we are still working on that. The last two questions, please.
Sorry, this is Miyashita from Nissan again. Can I go back first question? Then just, how can I say? Just asking, just confirming. Let me go back to the AC70's test report limit about that. Just asking means, how can I say? Your target rate is 3 years late coming from the USA one. I mean, is it any possibility AC17's test due date also can be extended 3 years or something? I mean, you said just 2 months transitional period compare with USA, but your target is 3 years later than USA. That means AC70's limit also. Can I extend it 3 years to submission or something? That is my asking confirmation.
First, which slide are we talking about? AC70. Sorry, we cannot extend it, but I think it should be submitted on the deadline. We have extended until 1st of May, as requested from the rest of manufacturer. So most of manufacturer request to extend the 1st of May align with the US. So we appreciate this request, and we have extended. So 3 years, it's not possible, really. Sorry.
Okay, but as you said, as a first confirmation is, would you reconsider about the without approved technology? Still, in the 2021 May, is not approved by USA yet.
Which technology?
Means all aircon technology. I just say USA timing is, submission timing is 2021 March. But that is just submission, not approved yet. Please consider that condition is still okay or not on your side.
Okay, we'll look at it. We'll see.
And also, if possible, reconsider for the extend.
Extend what?
Extend for the facility itself. That is my
Thank you so much.
Confirmation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good morning to everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to raise a comment. We talked earlier, and we heard from you your response about the WLTP. I would like to raise one comment for your further consideration, please. That is that the calculation method that was submitted in detail by the ACEA, the European industry, has been developed on the basis of physics and energy calculations, so that it is not based on, let's say, empirical data from one country to another. So not anymore using, let's say, a conversion table, but actually a calculation based in physics. Appreciate that WLTP is very new, but we would ask you to further consider that. And for sure, the European industry will take into account your comments and look to publish a paper to show a more peer-reviewed, let's say, methodology. But please also understand that the prospect of having that accepted in the USA
is it not expected?
Is almost zero.
Right.
Perhaps it's even less than zero, because the US has its own track. But that does not mean that the calculation method is invalid just because. So we will look for a way forward for that.
Yeah, great.
And we ask you to please keep an open mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can discuss with you more in the future.
Well, that's fine. As far as we know, WLTP uses a simulation and to convert from WLTP to an EDC conversion. But I need to mention that, as you know, our target based on US curves. So as US right now to not accept this testing. As you know, if you change the procedure for testing, so that should be aligned with the US or globally. You can, however, you can share with us that methodology you see is fine for conversion. So we will consider. I mean, we'll consider at a later stage. It's not about we ignore, but I mean it should be accepted globally so we can deal with it.
So we will look for a way forward, and we will share with you some more information.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Last question.
Yes, so I've got one more question here. In the U.S. program, when they restarted, I guess what we call the modern CAFE program with annual increases starting in 2012, there was the provision to retroactively apply for off-cycle credits for technologies that were put on vehicles that improved fuel economy but were fully accounted for the cycle. So the whole basis for the off-cycle program. And it was also allowed to apply for those credits as far back as 2009. So if we're looking to operate within the SASO program here, are there opportunities to apply for off-cycle credit for technologies that were on vehicles back to at least 2016 when the program started and potentially back further in time? Just another way to build the credit bank and use the compliance methods that are available in the U.S. CAFE program.
All right. We will consider, as EBA consider these technology, we will consider it. It's fine. We can update it. So if there's any new technology that has been added to the credit menu, we will align with them.
Well, yes, so this isn't looking at new technologies.
Yeah.
It would be the current technologies that we get credit for, but applying them in earlier calendar years. So if an engine had, or a vehicle had the AC efficiency technology on it in 2016, to allow us as manufacturers to apply for the credits that those would have earned in 2016, even though the accounting for them didn't start until 2018 in the SASO program. So that was done in the U.S. as another method to get more credits into the industry that industry is now burning through.
Is it accepted by EBA?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can actually relook at that.
Yeah, we'll consider it. As far as meets our yeah. 2016. As far as considered by EBA, we'll consider it.
Can you share it please with us with
more
us
clarification?
the clarification, please.
Yeah, we can give you example.
Yeah, please.
It's fine.
Please.
Okay. We'll look at it.
I have one comment, maybe ending by proposal. My name is Ahmed Al-Bouya. I work in FCA. As Your Excellency and Dr. Saad, Governor, in November 14, and when the ceremony sign-off indicated there's a cooperation between manufacturer and regulator. And today, I think, and previously also last year, we heard the same thing, that we are looking forward to using the EV and BHEV in complying our fleet, basically, all manufacturers working on that. So we know in U.S., which your basis for Café, the manufacturer has a couple ways of compliance. The internal combustion engine by itself, whether it's gas or diesel, and the EV. Now our hand is tied by the EV here. And the diesel, as we know, is going to be a couple years. So our other hand is tied also. So my proposal is simple. We'll accept the EV calculation as you indicated. We already understand that you have a reason to use your local. We'll give you that. Can we have allowed to EV calculation as US until you improve the fuel quality for diesel? So kind of compromise, kind of cooperation. As Dr. Saad mentioned, that's not my words. That's a memorandum of understanding. That's a cooperation to achieve the goal from both sides, from the manufacturer side and from the SASO side. So we can allow until it's a proposal. You can discuss it and look at it. Allow to use the EV calculation based on US until the fuel economy in Saudi Arabia improves, so we can import or use the other hand for diesel or other improvements. I think I got a vote for this one.
Fair enough it will be fair enough when we close the gap with the US and give you the calculation of the EVs, and it will be fair enough, right?
Please consider it. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Now we're going to have a 15-minute break, and then we're going to go back to the electric vehicle registration.
Thank you so much. Allah يعافيك.
My colleague from our motivation department was in touch with somebody during these last days, and we had a phone call yesterday. Because with you, Francesca Cini. She was with touch with the Mohammed and comments.
And for EP and calculations, but as you know, you have behind our deadlines. If you submit your comments before our deadline.
No, that's why there was an internal issue. That's why we were in delay. She sent to you the draft, but some of your colleagues said it's too late. We cannot. Yes.
Today,
Yeah, it's today. I know. No, my only two questions. One is related to the small. For the small volume manufacturing, that your provision is to be small provision, 10,000 cars, and our, that we are investing a lot in the new launch of models, and of course it's a part of the business. We need to grow. We want to grow. We want also that we give the possibility to go from 10 to 20,000. Derogation or compensation for small value manufacturing. This is the agreement should be the sales, not the following of sales channels. To go above that, we'll try to meet our targets, and because we will not so far be qualified with our program. And we've seen your points actually, but I mean, if it's possible to move the target from 10,000 to 20,000, it's not my decision. No, really, I know. No. These things just need to be discussed, But like right now, I mean, it's not my decision. I can take your comments and submit it to the committee and get their opinion. If they accept it, fine. Not accept it, that's not. And the other one, it was related to the use of cars import. The limit is 10.3 per meters, and the cost of very much electric. We are in the venture stage. We are looking for alternative buying vehicle. So it's my view, minimum performance energy, so I want 3 points. My view, we have to use alternative methods to let anyone who wants to import any used vehicle, they can pay or might pay some so we are working. There will be some flexibility. There's some. We are working now on alternative methods. So hopefully, in a few months, will be a long time. But they have the important of that. But there is some study, and even we have meeting today about this question. Continue the credit. Credits for the others, or in case there will be some penalty, which kind of penalty to pay additional credit from the government That's the other study we are doing right now. The proposal. Look at the proposal, what's the impact of the benefits and challenges, and then all manufacturers will be informed once we have a clear decision. But it should be the decision. Yeah, it might. It might. With other manufacturers, right now, manufacturers can buy from each other. As they told me, because I'm not in charge of the issue, probably there is no visibility. We cannot see that. Okay, we're going to go report credit. Okay, for 2017 and for 2018. Okay, you will publish it. Yeah. Once next month. So we'll be able to see. Yeah, you can see which manufacturer has applied. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. From thinking to the actual as we agreed before, it should be in 2020, all right? 2020, yeah. So the last year of the first phase, it's not changeable. Last year? Yeah, it's not changeable. Change one else. We can change. Deadline? Yeah, because it's the target and the flexibility. I mean, it's not really, it's not my decision. Oh, okay. I can't say we can. As we agreed, with all manufacturers should be 2020. So the wonder is how we can accommodate the system. Just our manufacturer will submit to you and so AC-17? Yeah, AC-17. I mean the first middle layer, the highest model. And the accessible itself is accredited by SASO only, is okay?
For example, you need to start language as a...
For AC-70?
Yeah.
For US, in-house test level is accepted by US government.
Yeah. And similar to
And regarding this year, the deadline is still March 1st.
March 1st to, you mean AC-17?
Yeah, but that is only
From
starting
1st of May.
1st of May, but that is only starting from 2020 calendar. And how about this year?
2019? 19, 18, no. Just only from 2020.
Okay.
Okay, from 2020.
And last question. And you are talking about you're very much monitoring the U.S. regulation government and movement. And you know, maybe USA has two directions. which one do you pay more attention?
Actually, we care about, I think we have our decision and our forecasting for next year. We see, and we know US has postponed their targets, but I mean, we have the option for us. So far, we have our target until 2023. Well, we have a committee, we have decisions, we might have our own...
So you will watching the US federal government and also the state of California.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
أنا سايق موتور إنجي المصنع بعت لي أنا مدير خدمات دفاع الحال فأنا هون بعثوا لي بس 3 أسئلة إلها دخل تعرف كفاءة لأنها تكنيكال وتفصيلات أنا خدمات دفاع فبدي آخذ الرد عليها هاي بتاعت درايف سايكل تيست إلكتريكال رينج هومولوجيشن تيست أي واحدة في راح تكون فريق
عندنا ستاندرد اللي هو J1711 خلاص عندنا 2 ستاندرد خلاص
اوكي
للبي اتش دي والباتري خلاص ونفس اللي مذكور في المواصف مذكور التست لازم يوافق الستاندرد حق SAE J171
موجود يعني بالمواصفة
موجود في المواصفة
طيب أنا عشان بخصوص السؤال
لأن هم لو أخذوا المواصف يعتبروا المواصف يعرفون which drives
موجودة في المواصف طيب والسي دي كالكوليشن وقدر الكاباسيتي virtual discharge قدر الكلينيك كاباسيتي for charging value from the pillar.
This is being explained and the standard for battery capacity of the battery. Okay, that will be this equation can يعني راح تصير equation للباتري والكاباسيتي المفروض كل سيارة فيها ريبوت تستخدم في الايكويشن حقت الانرجي هذه كلها ترى مذكورة في الستاندرد. أنا ما يعني لو تقرأ الستاندرد
راح نرجع على
عندنا الإيميل لو عندك أكثر يعني عندك توضيح أكثر نقدر نرد عليه.
خلاص بعد أنا برسلهم بالإيميل أرسلها معي أنا إيميل ناصر نتواصل معه.
ارسل لي أنا والله لو معي كفاءة.
طيب أنا ببعث له ناصر وبطلب له توصل له
خلاص ما مشكلة أعطى ناصر ونرد عليه.
طيب أنا بدي أرسل الإيميل بدي أكتب منشن هناك اسمه
طلال. I can't give it.
Really? Thank you so much. Look at that.
I'm from China, from This research institute, we are developing the standard, and we give the suggestions to our government for the make the policies for the automobile industry, like think tank and the government. Maybe we can establish the connection.
You know, this is related to something. I'm from Serbian Energy Efficiency Center. We care about efficiency. I mean, my colleague is from Turkey. He can really, we appreciate your program. Yeah, Mohammed. Yeah, he's, he can like be in touch with us in terms of these matters. But we are from SEEK, so anything related to energy efficiency, our standards, we can contact you.
Sure, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry you don't have my card.
Okay, it's fine.
Thank you. That Institute of Automotive. I'm sure. Okay, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Happy to see you guys. I'm coming from Japan. Oh, great. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, really. Thank you so much. I hope you... Good presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have a function. Now I want to do something. Infrastructure and quality. We are waiting. We have to work on mandating, to carry all the hopefully for 3 years. I mean, maybe before 2020, we can be Thank you so much. I will see. Thank you so much.
Maybe I will send some many emails and order to you so much.
Okay. Kim. Yeah, Kim. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I thought it was Abdullah. Oh, you're a dealer. Okay. I thought you were saying.
I'm Christian Chenard. I speak Arabic very well. I'm French, but I'm the R&D director for Middle East and Africa for PSC.
Oh, PSC.
I was really interested by your answers, but I would appreciate a small procedure. WLTP and NEDC cycle with the tables. Can we still use NEDC and use the table translation in a couple of years? American accept WLTP and then we'll come with something from you. To NEDC. Yes, it is.
It's more than any.
Because it's longer, you know, the test. Test not one. So if you take that, you should change everything in your table. Yeah. That's why, يعني So يعني إذا ما تغير لهلا بنضل نستعمل التيبل تبع ال NBC ساعتها. This is one thing. Second, please, in terms of projection, you said 90%. No, you have to know. You have to know. We have everything is contributed. Just to give you an example. يعني we are the last one that will come on the market with pickups. يعني أنا جاي pickups على الماركت السنة الجاية إن شاء الله. البيكابس الفوت برنت تبعه يعني عن الباست. أي كل طلع بالكريدت تاعولي كله ضربه. يعني ما تخلي في فكرك إنه هين الأصل مش هين. مش سهل. لا أكيد. أكيد شايف. تقدر إن شاء الله. بس صعب. Okay. And one key is quality of fuel. لازم في السعودية لازم تتحسن. مع عملكم الأمر حتى لازم يتحسن عشان إذا أنت عم تفتح أسهل حاجة أطيب البطل. أنتوا بالله يعني سيريس عشان الانجن هذا التكنولوجي خاطر. Thank you.
Very few, Saudi really working for car makers. So she can talk to the Saudi government officials here.
أنا والله ما أعرف. أنا اليوم
هذا الرئيس
Nice meeting you. So may I come back to one thing that we have PhD before that services fund of the global business sector, and then development of GCC specification has been completed. So we are now ready to launch PhD in GCC. So we have had some lengthy discussion with DSR. Yeah, the real one. I'm going to give it to you. Yeah, we need to go back. I need to report to our top management about you mentioned the Saudi context, I know that you are power generation from but it's the case that in the United States, probably they have a bit better alternative energy for power generation. However, I know, but it's not so different in KSA and USA. So what's the justification saying that you have the Saudi context? Still you need to think about the road to come. But in the United States, probably the situation is more or less the same, not so different. So what's the point that the US still isn't developing too much?
Distribution using the generation.
kind of political industry of the they're thinking about their own local domestic coming. So in any case, very clear presentation.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to continue our session.
I apologize. This is me. I came here from Weissa. And those vehicles look good on you. So you want to see them? That's my car, the B11. Thank you so much. But I think it's another break. It's another chance to talk to you. Validate your model.
How was your performance from last year? Okay, you have to wait. So how you just have to get? So you get to the actual, so you want to see how it affects it. Okay, based on your forecast, you can our calculation, and you can do your own analysis. Have you read our standard?
But basically they're saying just your model assumptions. We're happy to provide data. Maybe all the manufacturers could do. The only thing is we cannot share them this month because Clemens.
Very clear. It's not. No, it's not. All right. If you will just line with our cards, then you might get some problems. It depends your asset sales. It's not about actual sales and that. It depends on your market. So based on your actual data, you do your own analysis. Because if I give you like, all right, you'll be compliant with our...
No. I know. It's not about the food. It's not about the food. It's just to check your assumptions. It's just to give people a chance to check the assumptions. Basically, this is not about approval. No, I'm not asking for pre-approval. No, never.
They do their own analysis.
Yes, the own analysis. That's what we wanted to share with you.
So you've done that?
Yeah,
okay.
But just in general.
So as far as I can, I'm a member. But you can share. But I don't guarantee the outcomes.
No.
And this, I give you direction.
It's just to give you kind of feedback. Like I did your modeling, usually I do modeling, and then you do a validation step to really trust the model. This is just giving us some data industry-wide, at least some volume manufacturers. No expectations for Thank you so much. Let me please.
الله يعطيك العافية. شكرا لك.
خوفين الجماعة كثير.
Thank you, everyone. Now we're going to continue our workshop talking about technical regulation for electric vehicle. Will be done by Engineer Saud Sbeid.
Thank you again for attending this workshop. So in line with the National Transformation Program 2020 to meet the Vision 2030, SASU has launched the Saudi safety program called Salim. Salim is an Arabic word that indicates that the product is safe, secure, and free of flaws that may be harmful to health, whether directly or indirectly. So it's compatible with the Vision 2030 main goal by strengthening the national economy. Also, it's compatible with the mission of SASU by elevating standards and strengthening the economy and protecting the consumers. After receiving some requests from relevant bodies, after receiving comments from the relevant bodies for preparing the technical regulation, SASU has prepared the technical regulation for electric vehicles. The technical regulations in general intends for specifying the conformity assessment procedures and the essential requirements for electric vehicle that the supplier shall comply with. So, SASU Board of Directors has approved the technical regulation for electric vehicles on November 2017 and approved and published the technical regulation on the official gazette on January 2018. This is the content in each technical regulation we prepare here in SASU. The main articles that we are going through is the terms and definitions, scope, objectives, and the obligations of the supplier, as well as the conformity assessment procedure. We take into consideration the terms that used in each technical regulation in order to ease the difficulties that the consumer or the supplier that may face with the technical regulations. As well, we have the examples or the main terms that we generally use in each technical regulation. For instance, the regulatory bodies, it's the government body who's responsible for implementing or following up the technical regulations, whether in custom offices or market or factories. The requirements or primary requirements that the supplier, the compliance is mandatory for, is the primary requirements for taking into consideration the safety, health, environment, as well as the special environment for Saudi Arabia. The Market Surveillance Authority is responsible for implementing the market surveillance in order to ensure the safety and the compliance with the products, complying with the requirements referred in the technical regulations. So the scope of the technical regulation covers all electric vehicles whose weight does not exceed 3,500 kilograms and with the speed not exceeding 25 kilometers. So whatever speed less than this and a weight that exceeds the 3,500, it's considered out of the scope. Also, we took into consideration the safety of fires, as well as the electromagnetic compatibilities. It's in the standards in Annex 1 in the technical regulation. This technical regulation is published in the main website of SASO, can be viewed anytime. We refer to the regulations issued by regulatory bodies. For instance, the traffic department, they have executive regulation. So the main objectives is to determine the basic safety requirements for electric vehicles, as well as the conformity assessment procedures. The conformity assessment procedures is determining the safety in fulfilling the requirements set by relevant technical regulations and standards. It intends for specifying the certification, inspection, and test reports. So the aim is to facilitate the market survey procedures as well as the environmental protections. The obligation of the supplier is that the supplier must comply with general requirements as well as the technical requirements. In this case, the standards in the technical regulation, as well as the all electric vehicles shall be marked with an identification mark for security agencies for safety purpose. So the supplier has to comply with all the conformity assessment procedures in order to have the certificate of conformity. We have administrative requirements. We refer to, as I said previously, to all the technical regulations from relevant bodies. So the conformity assessment that the supplier has to comply with in this technical regulation, the supplier who's responsible for placing the market shall hold a type approval, as well as the test report, in order to apply for the certificate of conformity. It shall include the technical documentation and has to include the following, which is the supplier conformity declaration, as well as the risk assessment documents. Also the designs and drawings to prove that the product is compatible with the requirements of this technical regulation, the warning, necessary alerts, and the guide. We generally take into consideration the TBT agreements and requirements when issuing each technical regulation. For instance, the transparency by notifying the WTO with all the standards and technical regulation prepared by SASO, as well as the conformity assessment. No discrimination with regards to the conformity assessment. For instance, in this technical regulation, the supplier has to comply with the type approval. It's for whether imported or local suppliers. So my colleague, Engineer Hassan, will continue with the mechanism for applying for the certificate of conformity. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you again and thank you for joining us in this very workshop today. My name is Hassan. I work in the Certificates of Conformity Department, and I'll be your host for these upcoming few minutes, in which I'll explain to you how to register and apply through our certification website. It's called GIM, in order for you to get the desired certificate. And in this case, we mean the type approval certificate. So let's begin. How can a manufacturer submit an application? Of course, we are going to see that, but before that, this question implies that the following registration process is only limited to the manufacturer. So that is true. That point we must keep in mind. Also, one more important thing is that the manufacturer can submit only one application for each EV. For each electrical vehicle model that you make as a manufacturer, you have to submit one application. So all we want to do, or all we have to do in order for us to go to the system or the certification website is to go to this link, gm1.saso.gov.sa. The link will take us to this page where you can see two options in the upper right corner, the option to log in and the option to register as a new factory. If you have an account already, just log in. If you don't, we will click on the register new factory. After that, this page appears. We must choose the second option, which is the external factory or / exporter. Then we must fill in the mandatory fields, like the factory name in English and in Arabic, the address, the phone number, the email. Then click register. Then the registration success message will appear, and it tells us that an email has been sent for activating the account and configuring the password. Just like as you can see in the lower image. After the activation, we must visit the website again, GIM, and this time we choose login. After we log in, we will see this page. This is the interface of the usual user. We can see three important tabs: my tasks and my request, as well as certification. We'll talk about those tabs later, but for now, the most important thing is that the green circle in the bottom right corner, which says process. We click on this icon and choose type approval certificate. This declaration appears and also the documents needed. To proceed, please have a good look at the declaration and the documents needed. Then click I agree to the terms and condition, and then click next. So as we can see now, basically we just continue completing the required fields and uploading the documents needed. And by this step, we finish the whole process. We can now visit or request and see our submitted application. As my colleague said, before, there are multiple files that must be submitted: the type approval certificate from the manufacturer, the safety test reports, as well as that SASO has the right to visit the manufacturing place and as a test witness for these crash tests and so on. But as a manufacturer, you have to submit an application or a request or send an email just to tell us when are you going to hold this test. Now, if we want to see all of our application, we need only just to click on the All Request tab, and then we search. Of course, we must specify the certificate type. We choose the type approval certificate, and the status we choose ongoing, not finished or cancelled. So after that, we can see our application. We can browse the list of our application, just as you can see in the lower image. To know more about the application itself, just click on the blue icon, which holds the 5-digit number or the request ID, and it will take us to a similar page, just as we can see in this image. But please, the most important tab here is that you have to click on the action history to keep up with the most recent updates that happened to this application. So here's a quick summary of the previous steps. Go to GM1 website, register as a new factory, choose external factory, fill in your information, verify the account, log in, and then choose type approval certificate, upload the required documents. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you for being here. My name is Saad Al-Garni from the Energy Efficiency Department. I'm here to present to you the energy efficiency label registration for the electric vehicle. The energy efficiency label registration, first the procedures and the registration steps, after that the fees. This slide shows you the system flow. At the beginning, how to get to the SLS portal from the SAS website, and then creating a new account. After that, applying for a new application and pay the fee within 30 days. The application goes to the engineer's review. If there is any comments, you have to respond to the engineer's comment. Finally, the system will issue the label automatically. For the registration steps, first, this is the SAS website. From the SAS website, you have to go to the certification, and then efficiency labels. When you click to the efficiency labels, this page will be open. You have to register registration procedure for obtaining a label by clicking on this button. After you read the registration procedures, you have to click over here to go to the SLS portal. This is the SLS portal. First, you have to create an account from this page. After that, you have to sign in through this page. And this is the dashboard for the manufacturer. By adding new vehicle, clicking on this button, this is the page for filling the information of the electric vehicle. By clicking on the engine type, the battery electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid, and filling all the information related to the vehicle. For the fees, the application fee 5,000 and the label fee 500. The total 5,500. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Now I'd like the presenter to step on the stage, please. We're going to have a brief discussion. If you have anything related to what have been said, you feel free to ask.
definition of the vehicle applicability or the regulation applicability standard. It says 3,500 kilogram and speed of 25 kilometers per hour. Over 25 hours, yeah. So it was below the adult start analysis. It does not specify what is considered as a electric vehicle. In other words, you could have a vehicle that has in the market right now 48 volts, which is driven by traction motor also, but not electric vehicle, not hybrid electric vehicle. So we need clarification about it. This is only applied to high voltage vehicles.
We take, thank you for your consideration. We take always into consideration the scope or the definitions referred or cited from the standards. When preparing the technical regulation, we share the technical regulation draft with the standard department, and once we get the related standard,
So the standard will have it.
yes. So we refer in the technical regulation, once you view it, all the details and the related standards in Annex number 1.
Second question, related to the documentation. One of the screen that it says you apply and you upload the documentation. Can you give us a brief what kind of documentation?
You have to submit the test report, the safety test report, according to the standards mentioned in the regulation.
The standard that we're going to see in that will
Yeah. It is going. The standards are going to be mentioned in the regulation. Okay. Also, you have to submit the type approval for each model that you make as a manufacturer. Okay.
What if I don't have type approval?
What do you have?
I'm a certification.
Can you give us an example, like?
Well, like I have in US, we don't have a type approval. We have a self-certification. We have compliant vehicle based on self-certification, which basically we run certain amount of testing according to applicable F and BSS standard. Once we apply that, we release the vehicle, we release a letter to the manufacturer, to the plant, to start building the vehicle and put the label on the vehicle. And that's when you start, that's what we call self-certification.
Yeah, thank you for this information. But I'll take it to the the people who has the authority to, and we'll discuss this idea with them. And the announcement will be on the official website, SASO's website. You are going to expect like the date of the registration, okay, the starting date, the fees related to this process, the documentation, the formats also. So don't worry. Okay.
Hi. Can I first? So, I have two questions. Miyashita from Nissan. The first one is similar with him about what kind of regulation is required or which kind of regulation is required. I can find in your website, or such as electric efficiencies, front crash, or some electric retention or something. We can find what kind of regulation should be required or something.
Okay. You can view this technical regulation. It's posted under Conformity, and then you click on Approved Technical Regulation, and it will give you the list of the approved technical regulations, one of which is the Electric Vehicle Technical Regulation.
Okay. We can find it. Then, on the other hand, we can choose a kind of alternative regulations, such as UNEC 100 or something. We can choose another alternative regulations.
You mean about the speed?
Just my image. There is some requirement list for each area, crash, efficiency, or something.
Yes.
Then maybe each item has some standard issued by you, I guess. But some of area is can be used some alternative regulation from UNEC 100 or something. We can select or something. Do you understand?
المواصفات.
I mean, so.
Let's say that the list you have is called list of minimum requirements for electric vehicle. There is like, let's say, 30 regulations. Are you listing these 30 regulations?
Yes.
We can be good.
Okay. Let me check. Sorry, okay. Make you compromise. And the second question is, sorry, how can I say? We have the certification system for GCC country organized by GSO. How do you? Are you plan to synchronize, commonized with GSO type approval system, or completely different story?
But they don't have a certificate for electric vehicle. Okay, so this is just for electric vehicle. So the certification will be issued by SASO.
Sorry, simple question. In that case, last presentation showed labels. In order to get that labels, we need to get CCR number issued by the GSO or something.
For CCR number not for electric vehicle.
Oh, really?
You'll get a certificate number.
So, sorry, the CCR number that you get it from the certification department.
That means completely separated.
Okay, let me simplify it for you. Okay, first of all, you're going to apply for certification, for the certification department. You will get a certificate number. That's the number that you're going to use, not the CCR number. Clear? So, SASO certificate number, it's not related to GSO.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation information. Just the timeline. I mean, when this? Would you expect that we can apply for the certification?
Okay. For the timeline, we're going to announce when we're going to launch the website to apply for the certification. So up to now, it's nothing. We have not. We can't get any date for this.
So maybe that question was asked before. So is 2020 could be a reasonable target?
It depends because it's both our side and your side. So we need to make sure that the infrastructure is ready. So we cannot sell these cars in the market unless we can see the infrastructure is ready. So this is your part. Our part is to set up the regulation for the charging stations, for the electric, for the car itself, for other things. So it's once we see everything ready, we're not going to stop it. So.
Also, after the certification, would you still expect to get Intertech, for example, to do the inspection and do the same process, or?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I said
for the inspection part.
At time of shipping, currently we have to get the Intertech to come and inspect the cars before they get shipped to the country. It's an agency that they have to do the stickers and.
Look, as a manufacturer, your part is to submit the documents needed from you, the test report, the type approval certificate. And we also have the right to visit your manufacturing place and we inspect as a test witness.
Not necessarily before the application.
No, currently there.
Okay. One more question. There is a specification required for the battery or for the electrolyte spillage and shock. That one was called FMVSS305. I don't know if you have any, would be mentioned in the specification, which has to do with very much with the safety of the car.
Okay, we're going to get someone from the electrical department to answer this question.
Okay. That's it.
Process that's done in the United States through FMVSS, and also the type approval process as well. So when SASO is doing the electrical vehicle registration and certification process, to follow up on the question earlier, you did mention the type approval process. In terms of the self-certification and the test reports that are provided like we do with or through GSO, we would like to ask you to look at that process and allow that for your certification as well.
Sure. Thank you for your comment.
I have just a question about the portal. Do we have to register for the portal if we have an account already, or this is a different portal completely than the one SASO has right now?
No, it will be the same.
The same? So the same. I don't need to register again for...
Yes.
So manufacturer already has account, he can log in the same account?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a date for publishing the requirement? I know that it's still in process to have the full process, but to publish the requirement, do you have a date for that?
We don't have a date yet, and once we've done, we're going to share that with everyone. We're going to publish that in our website, and we're going to share it through emails.
I am Christian Chia from PSA Group. I would like to be sure there is no misunderstanding between SASO and the car manufacturer concerning the network for electrical vehicles. In other countries where we are selling electrical vehicles, we as a car manufacturers are not putting any effort on the network. The network is given by the electricity companies and supported by governments. What's the view of SASO for the network of electrical vehicle for your country?
Okay. You mean for the charging stations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's sure. That's going to be discussed with the electric company. So it's not with SASO. So they have the vision for this one, and then I'm told that they make a lot of workshop regarding this topic, regarding the charging station and how do they gonna deal with it. So it's nothing related with SASO. So.
Currently working on the infrastructure, building the infrastructure for electric vehicle with the relevant bodies. So we have attended some workshop that SAGIA, Saudi Investment Authority, hosted regarding the charging system. So we are currently working on this aspect. We are going to announce once we have done this.
Okay, but you're conscious that it is something that should be synchronized with what we have done today. I mean, credits are coming because we could sell electrical vehicle, but we cannot sell electrical vehicle if the network is not ready and so on. So everything should be somewhere synchronized.
Yeah, but from the government side is the network, but from the manufacturer side, I've known that no one applied for a charging station. Okay. To build a charging station or to ask for a charging station. Mm-hmm. So we cannot, as a SASO, go to an electric company and ask them for, unless we have a request from some manufacturers.
Yes. Another question, please, concerning your presentation, sir. You said, and please confirm, to be sure there is no misunderstanding, you said that you're interested to be witnesses of the shock tests with GSO, isn't it? Or not? Do you want to assist as SASO? Do you want to come and see shock tests as GSO is doing with us? Or not? For electrical vehicle, of course.
I'm sorry, we did not mention the GSO in our presentation.
Okay.
So you have to let us know beforehand the exact date of your testing,
yes.
And we will visit your manufacturing place and we'll see it for ourselves. As my colleague said, there is no currently an EV type approval certificate from GSO.
Okay.
So this process is only limited to SASOs.
Okay. So you as SASO would like to
a
participate?
team from SASO will inspect your manufacturing place.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, can I just ask, if that crash testing has already been completed, would you expect it to be repeated for yourselves? So if we already have done that testing?
If we have already done the test, the car is almost ready for other countries, the shock has been already done. The test is done.
In other words, if your portal and your infrastructure is ready right today, for example, just an example, and we have data that we can supply right away to the system, can we apply as we say today, for example, and you can come later to check the manufacturer's facility after that? Or
I think the question is very clear regarding that you have already done some tests.
Yes.
But we will discuss this matter. Maybe for the first time we'll try to get an exception or something. But if we got rejected on this, please do not be surprised. Sometimes you have to visit the place and witness the whole process just to certify the vehicle with that most surety. Okay.
Thank you.
Building on the witnessing the crash test, so there is two kinds of witnesses. If the crash test for this model is done in Europe or in US or China, and the document is available in the file, so the OEM can apply. The other option is that I think the colleague from Jaguar Land Rover was referring to, if the test is done and SASO and GSO or one of them witnessed the crash test last year or earlier this year, that can be satisfied, or that's still not satisfactory?
We are going to notify you on the official website of how exactly we can expect when we visit the manufacturing place, how we can expect and what the data that you are supposed to provide.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll have to hold our thoughts for this matter.
One last comment regarding the infrastructure. So SASO will do the process for the certifying the vehicle, and then once the label and the certificate is issued, then this vehicle is permitted to come to the market. On the other side, in a separate process, the electricity company and SAGIA and others are working on the infrastructure. That's my understanding. This is the case? So it's not, you will not release in another word, releasing the certificate is not related to the completion of the work of the infrastructure, or both are linked?
Yes, you are talking about two completely separate cases.
Okay.
When you get the type approval certificate, that's another case,
Okay, so it's not dependent?
Yes, it is not dependent.
Any more questions? Okay. Okay.
Can we have some sort of exemption? We get some cars, especially electric now, we want to bring them for local market testing, environment and heats and so on.
Okay.
So now, is there any process where you can give manufacturer 10 cars per models in this year to bring and test without going through a process of every time?
Okay. Are you going to sell them? No.
No, just one.
Okay, you can apply. You can write an official letter. Okay, that's saying that this company, we are a company that we want to put in, for example, 10 cars with these VIN numbers for testing. And then we're going to consider your application, and then we're going to get back to you.
So you have to apply and then...
Yeah.
Sorry?
After that, yes, you have...
I have to re-export them?
Yeah. So you're not going to leave them here.
But we're going to keep them, after without selling them, just in the
Yes.
So they will have the license. We can do the license plate and everything. Okay.
And you can apply for credit for those units after that, or?
Multiply. Yeah, it will be a deficit.
Deficit.
Sorry, let me confirm. After GSO.
After what?
After GSO established the process.
Okay.
How do you consider about your SASO own system should be contained?
So now, for example, in UAE, Emirates, right? You're selling. They have electric vehicle. They have their own certificate, right? Okay, we're going to be the same.
Yeah. I understand the current situation, but finally, if GSO established the process for the EV certificate,
okay.
In that case, every member state is remain the same process, or concentrate into the GSO system?
No. It will be the different process. SASO, it's just for Saudi Arabia. GSO for the other countries.
After we get the certificate for electric vehicle from the
GSO doesn't
like the petrol or diesel. In the future.
In the future. Okay, that's just
still we have to follow your.
Yes.
Additionally, GSO and SASO we need.
Yes, and now we have for the label, for example, we have different labels, right?
Like that. Okay. Like that. 2 processes needed.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you everyone for coming here, and hope to see you inshallah next year. Okay, we're gonna send to the same emails that we send the invitation to. And already this morning I have sent the link for this workshop. It was posted to the YouTube. It was live, so you can get back to the videos, to any comments if you're gonna review the workshop. No voice? Oh. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.